It's story time!
I'd like to read some Arcadian folk tales.
A favored topic of mine. I have just what you're looking for.
No, we're not gonna move. Oh, we're gonna wait for him to go pick up the book and then come back. Damn, that's a big ass book. Hopefully you'll be able to read it. It's written in all tongue.
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
Oh, we'll actually have to check it out. We cannot read it outside. We'll have to check them one by one then, I guess. I want to start reading it, but I'm afraid that the music is gonna be high enough to cover my voice. Sadra, the faithful wife. Sadra was married to a brute of a man named Kar. He was a bully who drank, cursed, gambled, and beat up his wife when he'd lost coin at the cups table. Oh shit. He's a jerk. Still, Sadra treated care with respect and care. I'm gonna call him Kari. Is it Care or Kari? I'm gonna call him Care, I guess. She fed him when he was hungry, she made his bed and washed his back, and she laid down with him when he told her to. She never complained of her hardships to anyone, even though some days she woke up with bruises all over her body. Despite her husband's treatment, Sadra was a beautiful woman, with lovely dark hair and green eyes. And men would admire her when she went to the market for food or the town.
Are you done? Let me take that back for you.
So that's that, huh? I want to read more. Kinda actually want to read more.
Oh,
Ah!
oh, goodness, it's you again. Oh, you gave me such a fright.
Could I see some more books?
Oh, certainly. What a silly
Why would you
question.
live with someone if he beats you all the time? Probably some people don't, of course. I'm not naive. Some people don't actually have a choice. It can be complicated, but yeah, some people cannot have a choice.
I'd
More
like to read
folklore.
some more Arcadian
More!
tales.
More
I
folklore!
mention
More!
How much I like folk tales. Just a minute.
Is it gonna be the same
I did
story?
find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
No, the same one. Oh, this is where you turn the page. Okay, good thing that we actually kept this one here. Sadra was a beautiful woman with lovely dark hair and green eyes, and men would admire her when she went to the market for food or the town well for water. But none dared approach her, fearing her dangerous husband more than they admire her beauty and grace. People would say, "Poor Sadra, she deserves better than what she has. She is a good and patient, even though her husband mistreats her every day." But no one was willing to do anything to free her from her husband. As they all feared his wrath, she chose her own path, they would say, and it is not our duty to interfere. Then one day, a tall and handsome prince rode into town to visit with the elder council. When he spotted Sadra carrying 2 heavy buckets from the well to her home on the edge of town, he was taken with her beauty and youth, and he jumped down from his horse to help carry her buckets home. On the way, he offered Sadra courtship, but when told she was already married, he bowed respectively and excused himself for acting inappropriately. That night, Sadra's husband heard about the prince helping his wife, and after striking her down for letting royalty interfere with her duties, he strode drunkenly, for he had already had his usual fill of dark ale, towards the tavern where the prince and his cohorts were staying. When Care arrived at the tavern, the prince was eating dinner, and when told Sadra's husband was there to see him, the prince stood and waved the man closer. "I must congratulate you on your good taste in marriage," said the prince. "For your wife is the most beautiful and good-hearted woman I have ever met." And then he offered Care a seat and a tall mug of ale. But the angry husband did not appreciate the prince's advances, and he drew a sword and lunged at the prince before his guards could react. Oh shit. The prince was quick and lucky to avoid certain death. And before Care could make a second strike, the prince had recovered his sword from where it stood by the wall and stood ready to fight the brute. "Leave him be," called the prince, when his guards drew arms and ran to protect their liege. "This is between me and him. Between him and me." Smiling briefly, he nodded his head to Care and stood to attention. Obviously, his skill with the sword was formidable. Care, a coward at heart, knew that if he fought fairly, he would surely die, and he sheathed his sword, but loosened the knife he had tucked up his long sleeve. "My pardon, Prince," said Care. "My love for my wife is such that I am blinded by jealousy. I offer you friendship and apologies." He extended an open hand to the prince and smiled, a broad lizard smile. The prince, unaware of Care's mistreatment of his faithful wife, smiled back, put down his sword, and extended his own hand. "Your apology is accepted, sir." Then suddenly, Care's knife was in his hand and moving in a blur toward the prince's exposed throat. Had it not been for the quick eye of a nearby guard, who with the broad side of his sword struck Care on the side of his head, the prince would have been dead. The knife carved a deep scar in the prince's shoulder, but did no serious harm. Care was taken away to the town prison to be judged when the sun rose. His crime was surely punishable by death, especially if Sadra would testify to his cruelty in front of the judge. Free of Care's tyranny, the townspeople now spoke of Sadra's suffering by her husband's hand, but Sadra would not. Sadra would not herself, even now, speak against her husband, and instead of being sentenced to death, Care was sent away to work the king's mines for 25 years. Taken with her faithfulness, the prince yet again offered Sadra courtship, but again Sadra declined, for she was still a married woman. Then, 1 year later, Care attempted to escape the king's mine by killing 2 guards and climbing the walls. But he was shot down with an arrow and died in agony and disgrace. Again, the prince visited Sadra's town bringing condolences and a renewed offer of courtship. And this time Sadra agreed. Months later, the prince and Sadra were married in a glorious ceremony. And when the old king died, the prince became regent and Sadra his queen. She was as good as a queen as the land had ever seen. And she has loved dearly. She was loved dearly until the day she died. And her funeral was the grandest and most tearful in memories. Oh shit! There are more stories, huh? Children of the lake. This is another story, huh? Okay, let's read this other tale. The Children of the Lake. There was a village by a lake where no couple had borne a child for 20 years. Whoa. Sounds like Japan. God damn it, have a nice day. Shut up! I can't keep my mouth shut about these jokes. I'm hearing Germany having a lot of trouble also lately. Shut up, have a nice day. The villagers were desperate, for without children their village would wither and die. And they turned to their god for help. The next morning, 50 young children rose out of the misty lake and wandered onto the shores. That is extremely creepy. Much to the joy of the childless woman, we are yours, said one of the children. As long as you remember one thing, you are never to fish from this lake again. Instead, you must learn to hunt in the forest and live off the land. The villagers agreed. God damn. So fish is going to be extremely expensive there, huh? Though they worried they might be hungry since they were used to catching and eating fish from the lake, but it didn't take long before they had taught themselves to hunt and grow wheat and potatoes in the fields. 18 years passed, and then one day an old man grew tired of rabbits and deer and potatoes and bread. How can you get tired of venison? I heard it tastes really good. I've never had one. I think I had the occasion one. I think a person actually invited me once, and I declined. And they told me, "Come on, we're having venison," and I declined. Must taste good. And then one day an old man grew tired of rabbits and deer and potatoes and bread, and he longed to catch a big fish and cook it over a sizzling fire. He took his boat out to where the villager would not see him, and he sank his line. Almost immediately he caught a large trout, but as he was rowing back to shore, he saw the children of the lake wander from their homes back into the dark waters from whence they come. They were 18. God damn, they're not children. They're not children anymore. Their mothers called for them, tried to hold on to them, begged them not to leave, but they would not speak. And one by one they disappeared into the lake. The old fisherman then saw, as the children sank into the murky waters, how they turned into large fish and sped off into the deep. He was shameful. Then, he was shameful then, and dropped his catch back in the water. But it was too late, and the village would forever more remain childless. Damn. So that's
let me take that back for you.
So that's Japan's and Germany's problems, huh? Way too much fishing. Interesting stories. I like these kind of stories. It doesn't actually give a lot of you know, of floor around of what happens, of things that's happening around here in Arcadia. But I'm gonna assume that Arcadia is the same place as Earth, and same in terms of logic. I mean, we're talking about deer and fish and rabbits, so I'm gonna assume that they also do have deer, fish, and rabbits. Which is strange. It seems that the world actually doesn't. But then again, we've seen a raven, or a crow, or whatever you can call it. We might actually see more of that crow later, viewers.
Oh, goodness, it's you again. Oh, you gave me such a fright.
Could I see some more books?
Oh, certainly. What a silly question.
We finished reading about Arcadian's stories. History of Mercuria. I'm looking for some information, but I'm not sure which book to ask for. I'm not a history junkie, by the way. I actually hate history. Not if it involves the romance of the Three Kingdoms for some reason. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I guess it's a time for a history lesson.
A book on the history of Mercuria would be interesting.
Ah, an extensive subject, to be sure. I will do my best.
It's Labu! Ugh, get out of my way! Then again, that's Dynasty Warriors. That's not. But I got into Dynasty Warriors because I mainly was into the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which I've seen the cartoon. There was a cartoon that that was based on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
I found out much later that, hey, it's actually one of the best novels that came out of China. So I read it, and it's possibly my favorite. It is possibly my favorite. My favorite novel series of novels that I have ever read. Then I didn't read them. I didn't read much novels. Actually, no, I did read a lot of novels. Not a lot of them were in English. Most of the books that I read that are in English usually are technical stuff. Revolves around my interesting career, not actually novels. I should read more. It's been ages since I actually read. Now, I always tell myself this, that I actually should read more, but alas, I don't have time. I don't have much time as I used to. Feels bad, man. Travels in the Northlands. I guess that counts as reading. By Jermaine the Discoverer. The first part. In my many years as a traveler poet and bard, I have journeyed far and wide across the fair realm of Arcady, and I have seen sights most people have not dreamed. I have stood on the magnificent and terrible southern capes in the midst of winter, When the storms are at their fiercest, what's this word? There. When the storm at their fiercest, fiercest. When the storms are at fiercest, while waves as tall as the towers of Altaban washed over my frozen body, I have witnessed the monstrous beasts that lurk in those dark and deadly waters of the South Swallow. Brave gallons, whole creatures the size of mountains that with a flick of a tail can touch the depths pronunciation, depths of the sea and the stars themselves. I have crossed the great ocean from north to south and from east to west. Wow, bragging! And in the course, been stranded on desert islands with no sustenance but what I could gather from the sparse vegetation. For months at a time, I have ridden the giant Elguan across Changagriel. I'm gonna assume that's pronounced Changagriel. The wasteland, from Altaban to Munterba and further south where the Tirok. The oases are few and far between, and I have seen the shifting dunes above the ruins of Gorimon? I think that's Gorimon. Above the ruins of Gorimon, precious jewels of the Bakshivan. It took me 3 tries. Bakshivan. All right. The Bakshivan Empire. Precious jewels of the Bakshivan Empire, concealed for centuries by the coarse and treacherous sand. And I have journeyed far east, carried on goodwill and destiny by shadow ships, to the strange and unknown cliffs of a world unseen by most, a world of an unfamiliar tongue and costumes, a world of great wonder and mysticism. I think he's talking about the French-Canadian parts. Shut up, have a nice day. No, and you're struggling to get views. If French-Canadian would spare a couple of them to watch your videos, you should be welcoming them, not chewing them. I've seen all this. I've seen all this and more. But the fairest sights still I've seen in the lands of the north, from Arid to the border mountains, from Tyran to the Bay of Fire. No sight can ever compare to dawn at Mount Tyranny, looking out to the plains of Nedra, where wild stallions run free in the thousands. Why are they capitalized? And to look on the city of Coruscant, the Pearl of Fire, while the boiling sun sets in the ocean beyond the slow waves, reflecting dark yellow and red as they lap slowly upon the sandy shores, is an experience truly treasured and never forgotten. It's accent, huh? These lands are blessed by the creature, shaped by men, yet wild and free and fertile home to the greatest cities, the most precious sights, and the most cultured and civilized people in Arcadia. Of all the fires I have rested my weary legs by, of all the taverns where I have learned the legends of tale spinners and memorized the songs of bards, of all the lands where I have wandered from city to village, it's the Northlands. I return time and time again to learn ever more. Join me now For I will evoke in you the very emotion I first experienced when visiting the sights and treasures of the northern lands. Join me, and I will surely bring you there to the exotic midst of this blessed land, and you will pine. Sorry, and you will pine for its rugged coast and green woods and its hardy people, and like me, you will never rest until you can return to yonder shores. Please don't tell me I'm dyslexic. Please. Am I gonna discover at a later age that I'm actually dyslexic? No, I'm not dyslexic. It's I have no problem reading, by the way, viewers. It's my eyesight, and as I said before, I am not really. It's not common for me to actually read out loud. In English. English is not my native tongue, by the way. I assume that you guys guessed that by the time, assuming that you're actually new. It's not my native tongue. Marcuria, O Marcuria, thou unkempt diamond, of capitals thou art by truth the fairest. The counsel many seek for knowledge, kept within is centuries sought and gathered by men wiser than the ages, brought hither by word of mouth. Marcuria, change thou not the course of war. Oh shit, that's a lot of reading material. No more poetry, please. Yeah. Between thin people, the diplomat, wise man, magician, all this and more. Thou hast without equal the mark of the merit and virtue. Written by Jermaine Orthrin, the poet. The august capital of I read the unified country, their unified country, Marcuria, lies on the hardy southern coast of the Netherlands. Okay. Unified country. Okay, interesting. I wish that there was some sort of a map that we can actually take a look. Well, we've definitely were near someone. Contacted someone that had maps. Should have asked him for some. Marcuria lies on the hardy southern coast of the Netherlands, halfway between Tyren and Coruscant. It's a port of call for merchants, trades, adventurers, and pilgrims from all four continents. A place of commerce and diplomacy for millions of humans and other species. I read is a strong and proud land perched between the plains of Nidra to the north and the lands of the Tyren to the west. The Great Sea to the south, and the forests of the Netherlands to the east, and inhabited by humans, Dolmari, Tyren, Mole people, and Vinner. So there are, that's 4 races, not including humans, huh? Mole people. Mole people! What about dark people? Ireed was formed after Marcuria emerged as a major center for diplomacy and trade, and became the banner under which the surrounding lands united as one. Ireed is a democracy, currently led by the Chief Council of the Ireed flag, Lord Yigvan Dalan. The High Council, composed of the ministers who govern by representation, resides in the Marcurian Hall of Assembly, flanked by the palace and the barracks. The Ireeds are traditionalists, and their form of government has barely changed over the last few millennia. In high tongue, I read means unification or assembly. Alright. Mercuria is one of the largest cities of Arcadia. The capital of I read. So... Mercuria is actually a city? It's not actually like a kingdom or anything. Huh, okay. Interesting. The capital of I read, and I read is the country. So, okay. And Arcadia is the world. What about Mercuria? Is Mercuria? Yeah, Mercuria is the city, which is the capital of I read, and I read is the kingdom. I'm gonna assume it's a continent. Mercuria is one of the largest cities of Arcadia, the capital of I read, and a center for trade, diplomacy, and cultural diversity, populated by a large variety of races from human to Venner. Mercuria has grown from its origins as the birthplace of humanity to a city of all Arcadians, and the hub of the civilized world. Founded 20,000 years ago, holy hell, at the shores of the then unconquerable ocean, it is the first known permanent settlement of the emerging human race. Initially left to its own device by more developed races, Mercuria grew large and fat and wealthy. Wait, so... it's not actually now governed by humans? So... what kind of government is it actually formed? What kind of a role is there? Is it a monarchy? Is it like... diplomacy? Are they Republican? Mercuria grew large and fat and wealthy. With newfound confidence, it's passed through a period of expansion which gained it a reputation as a merciless aggressor, which soon brought violent attention from the Tyrant in the west and the Dalmari in the north. After years of war, Mercuria was decimated and subsequently rebuilt with sufficient reinforcement to weather attacks from both sea and land. Peaceful times followed. Whereupon Mercuria settled into the role it has in today's Arcadia. Although all surrounding areas fall under its jurisdiction, there is sufficient self-governing and few central taxes to appease all but most disgruntled. The huge areas of farmland around the city benefit from the well-kept road markets and the busy export to other lands. Self-governing? Does that mean it's the same thing as the world in Stark? Huge companies that actually rule over the land? Nearby villages benefits from the military might of Mercuria, protecting them against roving barbarians and tyrant armies. And Mercuria also provides the people of the Northlands with one of the best and busiest ports in Arcadia, allowing travel to distant destinations around the world. That's the first part.
Are you done? Let me take that back for you.
Yeah, I'm done making a joke out of myself. I'm improving. Feels bad, man.
Oh, goodness, it's you again.
Could I see
Oh, sir.
This is one of the books. I actually want to go to Tobias, go back to Tobias and see if he's gonna give me something, because I talked to Obnoxious, and he probably, you know, noted me in, you know, some sort of books. He probably, or some sort of things. He probably, it'll lead me here. Let's ask him about more information. Where can I find him and how?
I'm looking for some information, but I'm not sure which book to ask for.
No matter. I know a great deal about most of the books in here. What topic intrigues you?
Oh, that's quite specific. I'd like to learn more about dragons. Huh. Yeah, we can. Oh, it's this. These are a few. Next episode is it's gonna have a lot of reading, I'm gonna assume. Hold on to your butts, viewers. Dragonborn.
I'd like to learn more about dragons, about the Dragkin.
Oh, yes, yes. We have some wonderful books on that topic. Stay here.
Fusorta! East Lanús! This is the only shots that I know from Skyrim. East Lanús! I don't know what East Lanús does. I don't like Skyrim that much. I absolutely loved Oblivion, though. Man, Oblivion. Now I want to play this game again. Damn, but modding that game drives me crazy.
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
Yeah, modding Oblivion is Oblivion can look extremely good, and there are a lot of mods that makes the game really, really fun to play. But holy hell, modding that game takes a lot of time. I could finish games. Literally, I could finish games while trying to mod and make sure that actually the mods are installed properly. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pages. Secrets of the Dragkin by Ministrum Iliac. Forward. The Dragkin are known by many names throughout the Twin World. Oh, they actually know the existence of Stark, but we do not know about that info. In Altung, they are often referred as to Dragkin. In some variation of Lawtung, Dragkin. In the Southlands, the word Dragich refers specifically to the winged lizard shape traditionally associated with the kin. In Irad, the eternal spirit of the kin are called simply Drake, regardless of their current shape. In Stark, most cultures refer to the kin as dragon, dragon. We don't call them that. We just call them dragon. Or if you're Yokotaro, you call them dragoon. No, it's actually dragon. I think it's called Dragon, or something like that. Dragon, or something like that. It's like a, what do you call it? It's I think in Japanese it's a play on words. That's why it's the double O in dragoon. It's not actually dragon. It's actually dragon. In Japanese, I think it makes sense. In English, it doesn't. But hey, Yukotaro's games never made sense at all. Because they are localized poorly. And there is a lot of censorship involved in his games. This guy, just try and play the first Drakengard and try and making sense out of them. Okay, stop babbling. Continue on with the game. In Stark, most cultures refer to the kin as dragon, dragon, though this usually refers only to the winged lizard-like shape and not to the spirit inhabiting this shape. Spirit inhabiting the lizards, huh? Okay. In fact, while in Arcadia, the kin are respected and revered as eternal spirits with the great significance in the balance and the all. In Stark, the kin are mostly creatures of mythology and fairy tales. However, in some Stark legends and sculptures, notably the Christian Bible, the name dragon is associated with the forces of evil, and thus the religious connotations do seem to have connotations. Wait, dragons were referred in the Bible? I've never read the Bible. I'm not Christian, viewers. I am not Christian. I'm fine with trying to read the Bible. Probably we'll try in the future once I get older and be more bored. I don't know. And thus the religious connotation do seem to have carried over in a somewhat distorted form. Who or what are the Draken? One asks who is the creature, or what is the all? Questions thus asked will remain and perpetually unanswered, for they are in the truth unanswerable. Huh. Okay. The condense all knowledge of the creator into the answer is futile. As is any attempt to define the all without describing every single element that makes up the all. Yeah, try making sense of all of that. To condense all knowledge of the creature into one answer is futile, as is any attempts to define the all without describing every single element that makes up the all. Okay. So also with the Drake kin, we cannot answer who is the kin or what is the kin, but we can provide some answers to the simpler question, the question that deal with what we see and hear and feel, and what we have been told by the kin themselves. Answers that together may give us, if only, the finest hint of the whole truth. Then at least some indication of who or what the Draken are, born of the emptiness between the stars. Read the 11th scripture of the balance. This is sound like a Bible or some sort of a religious book, of a holy book here in Arcadia. The scripture of time, shaped in unison with the all, part of the all, yet outside the all. Drikshin. Is that Drikshin? Note the ancient high tongue variation of the Draken. High tongue, huh? Okay, that's yet another language. How many languages there are in this world? Why so many variation and interpretations of the Draken from cultures to culture? The kin have always been shrouded in mystery, and from mystery arises legend and myth. The kin seem content to be seen as nothing but tall tales and figments of the bard's fertile imagination. That's not fun. That book didn't answer anything.
Let me take that back for you.
This book answered nothing about who the dragons are, or the Drakins, other than they are part of the all, and what the hell are the all? Or what the hell is the all? Is it the same as the creature? Sorry, not the creature, the creator? Yeah, that's a lot of info. That is a lot of info. I can understand some people actually don't like... don't like this. Don't like this. This lore dump. Like this. Which I think I can agree with it. This game is actually really, really long, so they could have they could have introduced these factors in a much better way. Well, actually, I cannot remember if we were gonna introduce to it in a better way
Could
in
I
the
see
future.
some more books?
Oh, certainly.
But we don't have the we unfortunately we don't have the luxury of actually going back and reading all these books again. If I
I'm looking
remember
for some
correctly.
information, but I'm not sure which book to ask for.
So that's why we actually have to, if you want to learn about them, this is your opportunity. Book about the keys.
I need to find out which four magical people of Arcadia were given a piece of the stone disc that serves as the key to the Guardian's realm.
The stone disc of the balance, yes? Yes. There could possibly be something on that in... let me check. Just one moment.
Yeah, to summarize, not a lot of people know about the dragons, other than they are some sort of a part of the all, and they are actually spirits within the... taking shape inside these lizard-like creatures. So they might actually live on in some way or another. There have been, and of course, I think from Tobias.
I did find something of interest.
Is that Tobias or Obnoxus? I forgot. That told us that the dragons, like, they are immortal. They've been there, before the. With the beginning of time. I think Obnoxus is the one that actually told us that. Alright. Now, this book is about the people that still has the discs, or the four parts of the discs, or the four people that actually have the parts of the disc. Chapter 16 in the eighth scripture, the scripture of breaking, regarding the disc of the balance and the event that came about when the disc was broken. The scriptures tell us that the disc was kept in the enclave for many thousands of years, safely guarded from any threat by the respect held by every man and woman for the authority of the fathers. But with the descent came disobedience, and disobedience brought immorality. I'm sorry. And disobedience brought immorality, and immorality beget theft. A tyrant soldier, aided by sentinel traitors, attempted to make away with the disc, but were thwarted by the wight of the kin herself. Oh, the mother herself, huh? Intervening, although forbidden to do so on behalf of the fathers. The disc was brought safely back to the enclave, but the threat would linger in the minds of the ministrum and the vestrum. So it became that the disc was melted in the forge of the dragon's mouth, shaped into the element of four magical people. And given to these respected people for safekeeping until such a time when it was decreed that the disc should once more be whole. So they melted it down, shaped it into four magical people. Okay, and we need to find those people at least. They're now actually stones, or we need to we need to gather them and probably find a way to actually complete them. If it's assuming that it's gonna be actually hard to, you know, it's not gonna be just, you know, the simple act of just, you know, attaching them, you know, to each other, like, you know. Like, what? How do you call it? What's the game? What's the puzzle game? The puzzle game that I actually forgot the name. A jigsaw. Yeah, the jigsaw. Assuming that's gonna be a, you know, it's not a jigsaw puzzle, attaching each pieces together. One stone to the gentle souls that sing in the dark and shape the earth between their toes. Who are they? Souls that sing in the dark. To the gentle souls that sing in the dark and shape the earth between their toes. Who are these guys? One stone to the watchers of the woods. The ones who are outside. One stone to the two that make one, of air and sea, and one stone to the keepers of the dark flame, the eternal dark, the mariners. I don't get this first one. To the gentle souls that sing in the dark and shape the earth between. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be a part in different parts of Arcadia. Watcher of the Woods. The stone to the maker. Assume those people that live in an island, at least. The keepers of the dark flame. And those will probably live underground or something. When the time comes for the disc to be whole again, one person will make a journey to the four who hold the pieces, and the pieces will be given willingly. Willingly, huh? Because there will be no doubt to the righteousness of this person. Okay.
Are you done? Let me take that back.
So it's some sort of a prophecy. We still don't know who these guys are. I guess we have a hint. I might actually have to go back to Tobias. But the one thing that we actually learned, that the disc was actually originally here. Was here in the Enclave.
Oh.
Could I...
Oh, sir.
This is all the books that we've read. The final book that we need to read is about the Silver Spear of Gorimon.
I'm looking for a story called The Silver Spear of Gorimon.
Yes, a fanciful tale if I ever saw one, but a charming one. Did you know that I'm often paid visit by adventurers wishing to read everything available on the spear so that they too can set out on their foolish quests?
Yeah, don't you just hate those adventurers?
Well, they pay for my bread, milk, and butter with their contributions to the coffers, so I shouldn't be too critical of them. But they care not about the books. They care only about what the books can give them.
I care. About the books, really.
I can tell. So, the Silver Spear of Gorimon, then?
April is an asshole. I care about the books, really? Liar. Yeah, how the hell did I not remember the jigsaw?
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
Took me a while to remember the name Jigsaw. It's been ages since I actually completed the Jigsaw puzzle. Not only that, it's probably the first time that I actually said Jigsaw out loud. Jigsaw, oh, that's a big book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is the 6th. The Silver Spear of Goriman. In the glory days of Bakshiva, before the drought, when Goriman was the greatest city in the known world, the Parrot, what the hell is a Parrot? A Parrot. The Parrot of Bakshiva decided to forge the most powerful weapon in the world. Parrot. I'm gonna assume some sort of a king or a ruler. It's Parrot. Oh, it's like a Tsar? No. A chieftain, maybe? The Parrot of Bakshiva decided to forge the most powerful weapon in the world, to challenge the mighty white dragon. Whoa, why would you want to do that? The Parrot had grown greedy and bored. His treasure hold filled with the riches of the world, and he desired nothing except the one thing he could never have, the unborn daughter of the white dragon. Creepy. Really creepy. The fairest, purest, most beautiful creature in the universe. He had asked the white dragon for her daughter's hand in marriage. What? Was she in human form? Was she in human form? But she had refused, scolding him for his insolence and warning him to keep his distance from immortals. And so the Parrot sought the advice of a mighty sorcerer, the dark and cruel Os, to learn how to kill one of the Draken. The sorcerer told the Parrot of the white silver of Mount Tyranny, the strongest substance in Arcadia, on how it could be forged by magic to kill even one of the kin. The Parrot ordered his army to go north across the ocean and to bring back enough white silver to shape a weapon, which his men returned with the rare metal. The Parrot ordered the finest blacksmith in Bakshiva to his castle, where Os, the sorcerer, cast a spell to create an unholy forge. 10 days and 10 nights it took before the exhausted blacksmith could present a tall spear to his emperor. So I guess it is an emperor, a Parrot. But before the spear could be used to kill one of the kin, it had to be bathed in blood. Beheading the poor blacksmiths and the soldiers who had retrieved the white silver from the Mount Tyranny. Wow. The Parrot's private bath was filled with their blood as he dropped the silver spear into the red bath. Watched over by Os, a terrible scream erupted, and steam rose up in a red, foul-smelling cloud. I mean, you could have just brought people that are condemned to get hanged or something, and just kill them here and then. But no, you actually decided to kill the people that actually helped you obtain the white silver. All right. When the steam lifted, the blood was all gone, and the spear was glowing in a deep red color. With the terrible weapon now ready to be wielded, the Parrot issued a challenge to the white dragon to either surrender her daughter to him for marriage or to suffer a painful death as his hand. Enraged at his hand. Let me read that again. With the terrible weapon now ready to be wielded, the Parrot issued the challenge to the white dragon to either surrender her daughter to him for marriage or to suffer a painful death at his hand. Enraged, the white dragon refused him yet again and flew to meet the Parrot, his sorcerer, and his 1,000-strong army on the green fields outside Goriman. Of the magical silver spear, she knew nothing, and the Peric kept it wrapped in cloth by his side. Bring your force around, Peric, warned the White Dragon. If you do not, I will lay waste to them all. I wish my men no harm, lied the Peric, for this is between the two of us. He then rode forward alone and dismounted his horse, but stayed within the reach of the spear. The White Dragon landed before him, and she said, "You are brave to face me like this when you know you cannot harm me." Then the Peric raised a hand as if to greet her, but it was instead a sign to his sorcerer, the terrible Os, who cast a mighty spell to hold the White Dragon while the Peric drew his silver spear. The White Dragon fought bravely, and she was close to escaping the sorcerer's magic, but the Peric was quick, and he thrusted the magic spear into her chest. She screamed in pain and anger, and the sorcerer's spell could no longer hold her. Rising on her beautiful wings, blood pouring down on the land below, she cursed Bakshiva, her Peric, and her people for all time. Wherever the White Dragon's blood fell, the land turned arid, and grass became sand. The Peric sent his army to follow the White Dragon and to bring back her egg, but the drought grew, and within days, the once proud empire of Bakshiva was turning into a desert. Then followed a fierce storm that tore across the land for 100 days and nights, and when the dust settled, there was nothing left of Bakshiva but 2 coastal cities and a few scattered oases. It is said that in the buried ruins of a lost capital, wrapped in the arms of a Peric who dared test the immortal, rests the silver spear of Gorimon. Oh. So that is the weapon that is actually capable of taking down the dragon. Or dragons. Drakens. Huh. I like that.
Are you done? Let me take that back for you.
I like that. I like that. We didn't get anywhere, though, with these info. Can we get anywhere with these info, though? Can we summarize what we learned here? We didn't learn anything from the folk tales. Other than, the ones, with the wife that married the prince, one with Japan, not having children. The other one, let me remember. With the identity of the dragons, and where to find the people that has the four parts of the discs, and of course about the silver spear. But what can we do with these things? I really don't know. I really don't know.